Hi everyone, it's time for the Monday lecture. This is week 4 of SO 242, Society and the Individual. We'll start off and review the assignments for this week. So this week I want you to read chapter 3 in your text, New World Reader, as well as to review the TED Talks videos in Moodle. They will pertain to your forum postings, so make sure you watch them carefully. And then, as usual, your initial response by Thursday at midnight, and then 2 responses to your peers by Sunday at midnight. Also, too, some additional resources to review. There's a website to explore the hate map, which tells you where all the hate groups are in the United States. And there also is the procon.org website. There is an opposing viewpoint paper due Sunday at midnight. You're going to use the procon.org website, and you're going to choose a social issue that you have a firm stance on. And I want you to review the pro and the con side. And then there are questions in Moodle and in the syllabus that I want you to answer after you've completed your research. This assignment does not need to be an essay format, so if you want to just simply number the questions and answer them, that is just fine. I'm looking for 2 to 3 written pages, and you are able to use first person or use I in this assignment. And since you are referring to a website for the material, I expect at least 1 in-text citation and a works cited page. If you choose to do additional resource, that's just fine. Finally, too, you will need to complete 2 glossary entries by Sunday at midnight. Just be sure not to reproduce any glossary entries that are already there. And then there is another quiz due Sunday at midnight. You get 2 attempts, and then I'll take the highest grade. So this week you have your forum post, the opposing viewpoint paper, the 2 glossary entries, and then the quiz. Okay, so this week I want to talk a little bit about social inequality. And social inequality is really the unequal distribution to resources, power, authority, and status. And in sociology, a lot of what we talk about intersects with social inequality. And it's one of the things where, as sociologists, we all do kind of agree that this happens. Why it happens, we all have different reasons. But it's very, very easy to see that there is social inequality. In the definition, I talk about resources, power, authority, and status. And so there's a little bit more description there. Resources are really, assets and money. Power is ability to be in charge and make decisions. Authority is to control or influence people. And esteem is really the prestige and respect. So when we're talking about social inequality, we're talking about all those things. So we have really discussed, the majority minority groups before, but social inequality really comes from those relations between the majority and the minority groups. So the majority group holds the power, okay? And that means that they are going to impact the minority group as a result of the social inequality. Inequality is really, when we talk about it in sociology, there's kind of 2 levels, unequal resources, but unequal access to conditions, meaning like education and housing, and also life chances or opportunities. And social inequality happens because of the discrimination and racism, and the fact that the majority group holds the power. So one of the things just to mention is that social inequality or social stratification, meaning that there are classes or there's a caste system. So there's an upper, there's a middle, and a lower class, and sometimes there's some things in between. But this social stratification really increases the social distance or increases the discrimination and racism between races, genders, ethnic groups, any type of minority group that's out there. And one thing that I think is really interesting is that the majority group have these societal privileges that they don't even realize or know about. And they have these privileges in stark contrast to the minority group, who maybe starts from birth already having obstacles to overcome. In America, or in a lot of the Western worlds, there's a sociological kind of theory that there's something called white privilege. Peggy McIntosh has written a lot of stuff on it, but she has an article called Unpacking the Knapsack. So I would recommend, if anybody is interested in learning about white privilege and what sociology has to say about it, that might be a good start. I'm going to end with a few things. One is that social inequality is actually found in all societies. Social inequality can be found in tribal communities, in Africa, as well as third world countries, and of course in very capitalistic societies like the United States of America. And so in sociology, we have lots of questions then. Does society need to have social inequality? Is it necessary? If it's not necessary, is it possible to have a society without social inequality? And so these are, I guess, just some questions I'm going to leave you with this week in thinking about society and the individual, the title of the course, how social inequality can affect somebody individually as well as affecting an entire group. There's a lot of wealth inequality in America that, of course, impacts and hinders or harms somebody and their individualism. And so, again, I'm going to leave you with thinking about all those things. This was a shorter Monday video, and next week I'll be back for wrapping it up because we'll be in week 5. So if you have any questions or concerns, you know how to get a hold of me, but we'll see you next Monday.